This tapping woke me up on Tuesday night. I had fallen asleep in my recliner while reading a book and was quite comfortable. When I attempted to ignore the sound and return to dreamland, I couldn't manage to fall back asleep. That tapping, it wasn't a rhythm or even just a tap. It was tap, scratch, followed by uneven pauses and repeating. Oh, it was so nerve-wracking, like nails on a chalkboard. Naturally, I started to twitch and knew I wasn't going to fall asleep until I got that sound to stop. Now, I lived alone in the city. My apartment is a shitty, overpriced studio that was little more than an oversized closet. You wouldn't think it would take a lot of time to find where that tapping was coming from. And you would have thought wrong. Walking back and forth, I observed nothing that could produce that sound. I couldn't find that tapping to save my life, yet it was so persistent. I tried the front door, but the hallway was empty and silent. There was no drip coming from the kitchen sink. The bathroom sink and shower looked fine. The thought of a mouse trapped in my closet made my skin crawl. I opened the door and started pulling out my plastic storage containers, moving boxes off the shelf. And then there was nothing but a mess, and yet that tapping continued to gnaw away at me. And by the time I got everything back in the closet, I was panting and sweating. Like, don't troll me. I know I'm out of shape, and I don't need the commentary to tell me what I already know. Sitting on the arm of the chair, I was giving my back a break and scanning my apartment again. I'm telling you, nothing stood out, and it was just growing more frustrating. Maybe it was a pipe in the wall. So I got up and went and put my ear against the wall. Nothing. The tapping was coming from the other direction. So I crossed the room, pressed my ear against the opposite wall, and found the same results. "Where the hell are you?" I demanded, spinning around and walking too quickly. I slammed my toe into the leg of the coffee table, knocking the laundry basket it was holding over and spilling my unfolded clothes all over the floor. I bent down on one knee and held my aching toe for a few minutes while staring at the clothes I'd have to rewash now. In between my winces, I grabbed the clothes and I threw them in the basket as hard as I could. Yet it didn't matter that the inanimate objects understood my frustration. It made me feel a little better. I put one hand on the coffee table and the other on my knee to help me get up. But as I started to rise, I noticed something a little bit different and knelt back down. I lifted and dropped my head a few times, and sure enough, tapping had grown louder at this level. On the edge of the coffee table sat my laptop. A sudden panic filled me. I couldn't afford to replace the laptop right now, and the last thing I needed was for it to be dying. I pulled it closer, and much as I feared, I had found the tapping. "Come on, baby, be okay. Please don't do this to me," I said while gently rubbing my hand over the computer. It struck me as odd that there was a tapping when the laptop was off. If it was breaking down, wouldn't it only do so when running? I moved my legs to sit cross-legged and was quickly reminded of my injured toe. I slapped the table in frustration and moved my leg under the table. After turning the laptop towards me, I started to lift the lid. There was a dim glow that didn't make any sense. I've always been a little OCD about conserving my battery life. So, if I'm not using the laptop, I make sure it's turned off. Yet I couldn't deny that something was emanating from that screen. When I first saw it, I slammed the lid back down. This couldn't be real. No, things like this only happen in terrible 4chan stories and creepypastas. I pulled back to my recliner and sat down, staring at the closed laptop while covering my mouth with one hand. None of this made sense. At the very least, the laptop should have been in sleep mode. Yet that tapping, the incessant fucking tapping, was still emitting from the speakers. I didn't want to give it any credence, and had seen enough horror movies in my time to know what I should do. It took a little digging, but I found my hammer in the closet. I gripped the handle tight while staring down at the laptop. I went to bring the hammer down and smash the screen into 1,000 pieces, but stopped myself. How the fuck was I supposed to work without a computer? How are you going to get any work done if you're dead, stupid? I scolded myself. A dozen conflicting thoughts argued in my head. Come on, Jake. Just smash the demonic tapping back to hell. You're overreacting. Your eyes are just playing tricks on you. It isn't worth the risk. Just kill it to be safe. Kill what? There's nothing in there. You left a video on and are confusing yourself. Okay, think like a rational human being. Not like you should be taken to the funny farm. It had to be a video, right? I wasn't sure how it got left on, even with the laptop closed, but it made sense that my mind was only playing tricks on me. I reminded myself that I wasn't a child. I wasn't afraid of the dark or believed in possessed laptops. Grow up, I said, got down on my knees and forced myself to open the laptop. It was still there. Whatever the video was, the lighting was really poor, but appeared to take up the entire screen. Now, I didn't even have a taskbar. The torn and bloody finger tapped on the screen, and it didn't even look like a video. It was trembling as it tapped and scratched its way down over and over again. The windows and arrow keys wouldn't minimize the video. When I tried the mouse, there wasn't even a cursor. The power button on the laptop wasn't lit up. So this was official. I had lost my fucking mind. I was staring at something that could not possibly be there. So I tried the only other thing I could think of. Hello? The tapping finally stopped along with its grip on me. The finger moved up, revealing a hand with dozens of cuts and marred in dirt. The hand clutched at something off camera, and after a few grunts of effort, a face lifted up into view. One of his eyes had been taped over and was stained red. The other was bruised terribly, and these were only two of the multiple injuries this poor bastard had sustained. He stayed there, catching his breath for a moment, and all I could do was wait. "Oh, thank God! Please help me, I'm stuck!" His dry voice croaked. "Help you? I don't know who you are or even where you're at. How am I supposed to help? His head leaned forward until his forehead obscured the entire view. The man started sobbing. Oh, my heart sank at that. I didn't want him to suffer, but didn't know what to do. It sounded like he didn't have much of an idea either. Hey, we'll figure something out, okay? Just let's think. What's your name? Whitney. Okay, Whitney, I'm Jake. Do you know where you are? The forehead pulled back and I could see the man attempting to calm himself. He thought about it for a moment and shook his head. Where I at? Some kind of crazy is where I am. After a nervous laugh, I said, That's okay. Right now I think I'm crazy. I'm talking to a man that seems to be trapped in my laptop. The man actually smiled this time. Maybe you'll get it when I say I'm trapped on the internet. Trapped on the internet? How could that happen? You're a person. You're clearly made of flesh and blood. The internet's virtual. He just shook his head. Look, man, I don't know. I didn't exactly volunteer for this. I was arguing with an AI chat. Wait. Why are you arguing with software? Because I'm stupid, maybe. I don't know. I indulged in one debate, and I must have pissed it off. Things started threatening me. I would take that seriously. I told it to piss off, and next thing you know, my world is spinning, and here I am. This is so fucking weird. Okay, maybe you can explain what here is. What do you see around you? Right now, dirt. It's just a lot of freaking dirt. Okay, what about before and now? At first, it was just all black. I didn't have any clue what was going on. Then everything started changing. I was stuck as a photograph on some search page and couldn't move or speak. What in the actual... Yeah, that sucked. Then this medieval movie came on. There was a battle taking place. I was about to be cut open and it changed to a thunderstorm. Okay. Let me see if I understand. You're trapped on the internet and it's like someone is bored and forcing you to become a part of whatever content they find? I think so. I found this hole, crawled into it to, hide. Listen, man, I don't understand how this is happening. I don't get all the details. Please, just let me out. Will you let me out of here? How? I can't exactly give you my hand and pull you through the screen. How would I know? Why don't you try hitting Control, Alt, Escape or something? I shrugged. Worth a shot, I suppose. I moved my fingers to the keys as instructed and followed the simple command. As soon as I did, I felt lightheaded and the room started spinning. Closing my eyes did little to curb my nausea. So I held onto the table until the moment passed. Then everything felt constricted and I couldn't move my legs much. My shoulders were crammed and there was this pressure on my belly that made it difficult to breathe. I was trapped in what looked like a dirt tunnel that I was too big for. The only thing that wasn't dirt was the screen in front of me. Looking at the screen, I felt my heart begin to pound and my mind started screaming at me to go back. It was too late. I I could see Whitney, stretching his back, rubbing his neck. He was standing in my living room, meaning I was in his hole. He looked at the screen with a pained expression. "I'm sorry about this, Jake. Just trust me. It's better if you stay where you are. You don't want them to find you like they did me." Before I could wrap my mind around what was happening, or beg him not to leave me, he reached forward and closed the laptop. A light left the tunnel, and now I'm trapped in here in the dark. I'm wedged in good. I can't crawl out of here. I tapped the screen again, again, hoping someone, anyone, will hear my call and come to save me.